It's the beautiful game. If you want to know what the beautiful game is all about, you watch Baggio.
A legend is defined by his impact, even after he's gone from the game. What he leaves behind echoes through the ethos of his club, and if they're lucky, through the nation. Such a player graced the pitches of Serie A for the better part of the 1980s and absolutely took over the 1990s, with the number 10 on his back, putting the greatest clubs on his shoulders. They called him the Divine Ponytail. Every time he took the field, the crowd rose, anticipating his every move. In Florence, he became a prince, worthy of rivaling the Medicis. At Juventus, a champion, and in Milan, a demigod that spanned between both red and blue. His name, Roberto Baggio. In that famous purple kit, he would dance past top opponents in effortless style, demanding respect just like he did against Diego Maradona's Napoli. For his own half, he zoomed through the center of the pitch before splitting 3 defenders at once and then shifting past even the keeper, as he pulled off one of the most incredible goals Serie A would ever see. It was an effort even David would deem masterful. As time went on and the club needed to sell though, he was forced to accept the move to Juventus. One that shattered football's transfer fee, but also the heart of the Artemio Franchi faithful. Riots broke out and the city went into chaos. As fate would have it, he then drew a penalty against La Viola, but refused to take it, perhaps because the keeper knew him too well, or just maybe because he was still too attached to Florence. For the Bianconeri though, he turned into a worldwide phenomenon. By the 1992-93 season, the players gathered around him and he was named captain. He led them to victory in the UEFA Cup final, scoring a brace in the first leg against Borussia Dortmund. By 1995, he won his first Scudetto along with the Coppa Italia. It was then time for a change, as the love had been lost between the player, his coach, and the upper management. A move to Italy's fashion capital only seemed right, as he won a consecutive Scudetto and was named team MVP, playing from a deeper role behind the strikers. During his stint with Bologna, bagging a career-best 22 goals, he decided it was time for a rebirth, away from the controversy that endured between managerial decisions and injuries that limited his playing time. So he did the unthinkable and cut off his iconic ponytail. Although he would never see international play again, Baggio defined professionalism as he played into his 30s. He held Brescia to Serie A salvation just 76 days after tearing his ACL and then his meniscus in that same knee. While it should have ended his career, he scored a double in his first game back after coming on as a substitute and scoring one of his most critical goals to save them on the last day of the season. It would only be considered a miracle that he broke 200 goals in his last year, and his final run would be to a standing ovation at the San Siro. All in all, he won 2 Scudetti and was in a moment's reach of the World Cup, before even he felt the pain of being only human. And of course, there were the goals, 318 to be exact, with a highlight reel that turned seers into believers. Widely considered as the best number 10 of his generation, Baggio's abilities could only be explained by those who got to watch his magic live. So we decided to ask my dad, Gaetano, what he meant to Italian football and how he sees his legacy.
Well, we're talking about a legend, but the thing that I remember most about Baggio is that he's an exceptional person. I met Baggio in about 2010. There was an event in New York City and he came here to participate. And lucky enough, I was sitting at his table and a lot of people were coming to the table for autographs. And then at one point he did an interview, and when they left, he sat next to me and he said, "Gaetano, I'm so happy that you're next to me, because he goes, when they put a microphone in my face, he goes, I forget everything." He goes, "I'm glad that you're sitting next to me so that we can talk." And that it made me so happy to be next to him, to be next to a legend. And then he spent the next couple of days in New York, and we got a chance to talk and to go out. And he told me that he was one of 8 brothers. And after school, when he would come home, he would like to sneak out and go play soccer. But his father would grab him by the arm and say, "Before you go to play, you have to come, you have to help me out." He had a shop, I believe They were making windows, the frame of windows of metal, and he had to work before he went to play. And he said, believe it or not, this helped me with my character. It helped me with my life. It helped me with soccer. It helped me with my virtue in life. After we spent a couple of days together, the day that he was leaving, of course, you know, I had a couple of shirts that I wanted him to sign for me. I felt bad. I didn't know when was the right time to ask me, you know, can you sign me the shirt? And before he left, I said, Roberto, I'm so sorry but I would like for you to sign the shirts for me. He put his hand on my shoulder and he said, Gaetano, I cannot thank you enough for you asking me to sign a shirt. And at that point, my mind was, I said, you thanking me? He goes, yeah, I have to thank you for asking me to sign a shirt. I said, Roberto, I don't know how to thank you. No. He said, that's not the way it works. And I mean, I couldn't believe it, the person that he is. He said, this is my cell number. He goes, when you come to Italy, call me, because maybe we can have coffee together. And the next, I programmed his number, but of course, I would have never called him. And the next day, the telephone rings. I look up, Roberto Baggio. I said, oh my God, we lost his bags. Something happened. He goes, Gaetano, he goes, I'm calling you for two reasons. One, he goes, I want to thank you for the little gift that you gave my kids. I gave him a plane, a plastic plane that you put together. And the main reason why I'm calling you is to thank you for all the help that you provided me. And at that point, I mean, I didn't know what to say. Somebody that calls me to thank me when it was such an honor to be in his presence. And so this is what I will never ever forget, the chance that I had to meet and to spend a couple of days with Baggio.
What was the young Gaetano thinking if one day you would say that he puts your arm around you and is thanking you?
No, it's a dream. I mean, it's never going to happen. It's something that it will never happen. So I couldn't not even in my dreams I could think, because to me, he is the best Italian player ever, and to me he ranks on the top 10 of all time, all football players. It's in his character, and he's very shy, and when he talks, you can see he's very credible, he's very human, he's very humble, and that's what makes him, I think, famous all over the world. Okay, this is when he came in.
That is real.
This is when he came in here we are at the airport. This is when he left. Of course, he dedicated the shirt. It says, con affetto, con grande affetto e amicizia. So with great affection and friendship from Roberto Baggio. He said, I want you to have this. And this is the shorts that he used to practice with. This was something really that really emotionally got me. That he wanted me to keep this, and this for me is priceless.
He played for some of the best, but which club do you think he was most important for?
It has to be when he went from Fiorentina to Juventus. He spent years there, and he won there, and he was the captain there. So I think that that was the most significant times.
Can you compare him to anybody today?
You compare with Messi. I mean, he's that kind of player where he can get the ball from midfield and dribble after team and put the ball in and dribble the goalkeeper too.
It will be awkward to not talk about the penalty. Do you have any thoughts on him? Obviously, people hold it over his head so much about the missed penalty, even though anybody in football can miss a penalty.
So they of course, they always ask him about that, and he will never forget that for the rest of his life. But those are periods in life where it happens to go through a tough time. Hopefully you will learn from the mistakes, and when they asked him that, it was I wish that I could have learned from my mistakes in a different situation, but not in that in that situation where you missed the penalty.
If you're explaining Baggio to someone that never watched him in one sentence, how would you describe him?
You watch some of the things that he did on the field and you realize how beautiful this game is.
What Baggio has done not only for the sport, but for Italy, is to unite the country around one player. Not a club, not a color, but a player. His style and class inspired an entire generation of talent that would be felt through Italy's next great line of playmakers, including Alessandro Del Piero, Francesco Totti, Antonio Cassano, Giuseppe Rossi, and the list continues. While Italy takes a more commanding role and re-enters the spotlight of world football, it's players like Baggio who remind fans of the secret treasures this country holds. As Italy's future looks brighter than ever, Baggio will forever be the legend that showed Italy how beautiful football could truly be.